Liam walked through the city center in a sharp, expensive suit, looking like a man of great success. Yet, with every step, a loud scratching noise followed him. Tied to his waist was a massive, filthy sack, dragging heavily against the concrete. People on the street stopped and stared, covering their noses in disgust at the smell. They whispered and pointed, wondering why such a dignified man was chained to a bag of garbage. But Liam didn't look back. He just kept walking, pulling his heavy burden in silence. You see, Liam was a man who seemed to have it all. He had a high-paying job, a beautiful home, and respect from everyone in town. But inside, he felt empty. His heart was heavy with memories of broken promises and people he had hurt years ago. He couldn't sleep, and he couldn't truly smile. Desperate for peace, he went to see a wise old teacher who lived quietly at the edge of the city. Liam sat before him, his head low, and said, "I carry so much regret. I want to let it go, but I don't know how." The teacher listened without interrupting, watching Liam with kind eyes. Then he stood up and returned with a basket of raw potatoes and a large, empty sack. He placed them gently on the table. With a soft voice, he said, "Liam, think of every person you haven't forgiven and every mistake you are still punishing yourself for. For each one, take a potato, write the name on it, and put it inside this sack." Liam looked at the dirty potatoes, then at the teacher. He frowned, feeling foolish. "Potatoes?" he asked, his voice full of doubt. "I came here for wisdom, not a gardening lesson. How can writing on a vegetable fix my life?" It sounded ridiculous to him, just a silly game. But the teacher merely smiled and added, "Do this for me. And there is one rule. You must carry this sack with you everywhere you go for 1 whole week. Do not put it down." The first few days were manageable, just a bit inconvenient. Liam went to work with a sack tied around his waist, trying to ignore the strange looks from his colleagues. When he sat down for lunch, the sack took up the chair next to him. When he tried to sleep, he had to drag it into bed, the lumpy potatoes digging into his side. It was annoying, but he kept his promise, thinking it was just a test of endurance. However, as the week went on, something changed. The potatoes inside began to rot. By the 4th day, a terrible smell started to seep through the fabric. It was a sharp, sour odor that clung to his clothes and filled every room he entered. People at the office stopped coming to his desk. When he walked down the hallway, conversations stopped, and his friends made excuses to leave early. Liam felt isolated, trapped in a cloud of his own making. The physical weight on his hips was painful, leaving red marks on his skin. But the smell was worse. It was a constant, suffocating reminder of what he was carrying. He lay in bed on the 6th night, unable to sleep, tears stinging his eyes from the stench. He realized he wasn't just carrying vegetables, he was carrying decay. Every moment of his life was now defined by this heavy, rotting burden. He felt exhausted, not just in his body, but deep in his soul. He was alone, and for the first time, he understood that the sack wasn't punishing him because the teacher said so. It was punishing him because he refused to put it down. On the 7th morning, Liam reached his breaking point. He stormed into the teacher's house, his face pale and exhausted. He threw the heavy sack onto the floor with a loud thud and shouted, "I can't carry this for 1 more second! The smell is destroying my life! People hate me, and I hate myself! Why did you make me do this meaningless task? Why are you punishing me?" The teacher sat quietly, pouring a cup of tea. He looked at the rotting sack, then up at Liam, and smiled gently. "Liam," he asked softly, "if it smells so terrible and hurts your back so much, why didn't you just throw it away?" Liam froze. He opened his mouth to argue, but no words came out. The room went silent. "Throw it away?" he whispered, confused. The teacher nodded. "I told you to put the potatoes in the sack, but I never said you had to keep them forever. You chose to hold on to them. That sack is your past, your anger, and your regret. It is rotting and heavy, yet you are the one deciding to carry it every single day. No one is forcing you but yourself." Suddenly, the realization hit him. He wasn't a victim. He was a volunteer to his own suffering. Tears of relief filled his eyes. He looked at the sack one last time, realized he didn't need it, and simply turned around. He walked out the door, leaving the rot behind, his shoulders finally light. From today's story, we learn a powerful truth. We often think that holding on to anger or guilt is a way to stay strong or a way to punish those who hurt us. But in reality, resentment is just like those rotting potatoes. The longer we carry it, the more it poisons our own peace, while the people we are angry at are out living their lives. Forgiveness does not mean you are weak, and it does not mean what happened to you was right. It simply means you value your own happiness more than your past. So, take a moment today to look at the burden you're carrying. Is it time to put it down? Try to drop just one potato from your mind today and notice how much lighter you feel. Because peace of mind comes not from having no problems, but from refusing to carry them inside you.